Imagine having to walk to your classes around your college campus in skirt, even during winter months. Due to the university dress codes enforced on women. Although this may seem like an absurd rule in today's world, this wasn't for women attending universities in the 1960s. Dress codes like these were used on campuses all around the country. Women experience discriminating limitations when fighting for equal education rights. Multiple dress codes just like these and curfew rules were enforced of women in higher education. As part of women's PE uniforms, they had to wear shorts, but these shorts could only be seen in the gym room. Outside, they were forced to wear coats, even in extreme hot weather, so they could be covered up, as in this time, women were still expected to not show skin and to look put together. Quote, shorts could only be worn on campus if covered by a coat. You couldn't even visit a friend in another dorm in shorts without wearing a coat. Another rule universities have were enforcing curfews. Resident halls had specific curfews based on grades and ages. These women even had to sign in and out of dorms every time they left or entered the building. This was a way to keep track of women attending these universities. These rules were seen as controlling women to behave the men that also attended these schools. Quote, Nyhart Hall, then a women's residence hall, housed only freshmen, which made it easier to enforce their 9 p.m. curfew. Girls who earned a 2.0 then were able to stay out till 10:30 on weeknights. This was also the curfew for upperclassmen women. Weekend hours were 1 a.m. on Fridays and Saturdays, and then 10:30 again on Sundays. RAs also performed random bed checks to make sure the women were in their rooms at these specific times. Another discriminating factor for women attending colleges and limitation was that the founder of these women colleges did not support the suffrage movement. Founder of St. Hilda's, Dorothea, would not associate her institution with comparing men to women, but instead to make sure that women remained subordinate. She said, I desire to institute no comparison between mental abilities of boys and girls, but simply to say what means right, so that these women may perform that best subordinate part in the world, which I believe they have been called for. One last limitation of women in these colleges was that women in higher education was the multiple misbeliefs of women attending these colleges. A very popular misbelief at this time was doctors convincing citizens that the stress of college would negatively affect women's reproductive health. Quote, because a scholarly life seemed incongruous with expectations for women's maternal role. Physicians and educators began to worry about the effect of studious work on women's reproductive health. In a time where women's menstrual cycles were poorly misunderstood, the belief was that energy devoted to brain work was energy diverted from reproductive organs. This held back many of these women fighting for education at the time, because such an important role as reproductive health stopped many people from allowing women to attend college. Another misbelief is that society didn't think women had use for education because they were seen as caretakers for their children and their husband. They could not have jobs like medicine or law, which higher education was mainly made for. Quote, the only American site where young women who received advanced education was in the scattered academies, which often offered girls a far weaker curriculum than boys received. Rather than resulting from outright prejudice, however, this lack of attention to women stemmed from a belief that they had little use or no use for advanced education. Since women could not enter the ministry, nor could they practice law or medicine, what did they need for advanced schooling? In all, throughout the years, women have experienced these discriminating limitations when fighting for the right for higher education. They experienced the discriminating dress codes and curfews, the limitation of these founders not supporting their equality or suffrage movement, and the misbelief of women being able to attend college. As you can see, the hard struggles of women's fight for education was eventually successful in return now that today's world we have an equal opportunity in college and an important place for higher education.